work.
Oh, no, I'm not on break. Quick, let's go on break.
Oh, go on break
Hero
so
U,
we can see
Road to Redemption.
Yes, indeed.
Hello there.
Welcome, everybody, to another live stream with Corey.
And Lori.
And today, we are going to be playing...
What are we playing? Oh, we're playing a game that Lori mostly wrote, but I helped with, which was Hero U, Road to Redemption. And Josh Mandel also participated. Oh, and about 30 others, artists and programmers.
Yeah, it was not just a tiny...
It was a team effort.
Yes, it wasn't a tiny indie group. It was a large indie group.
And we kickstarted this in 2012 in the Great What?
That was the question. 2012 is when we began this journey.
In November of 2012, so not early 2012, in the Great Kickstarter Revolution, following in the footsteps of Tim Schafer's Double Fine Adventure, which became, what do they call it? I forget. Broken Age. Which became Broken Age. And Jane Jensen and Robert Holmes did Mobius games and Mobius.
Space Adventure.
And then the Space Quest folks, the guys from Andromeda, Mark Crow, and the other one, programmer.
Yeah,
those two guys came back as the guys from Andromeda to do Space Venture. Oh, come on. I know him well. Scott Murphy.
There you go.
Scott Murphy and Mark Crow. And so several people, Al Lowe got talked into coming in with Josh Mandel to do a remake of Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards. And all these people were all of a sudden doing adventure games through Kickstarter. And we had dozens of people come up to us or, write us letters and say, you've got to do a Kickstarter too. So foolishly,
we could have another Kickstarter. We could have another Quest for Glory, which everybody wanted.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
No, we didn't own the rights to Quest for Glory, so we didn't do that.
No.
And in fact, it actually started out originally with Oren, is that his name?
Huh? Andrew?
No, Oren. The guy we worked with from Israel.
What about him?
He wanted us to do the Bolt Riley game on Kickstarter.
Oh, you mean Odad.
Oded Sharon. He worked with Oren, but Oded.
Yeah.
Oded Sharon wanted us to do that, and we said, well, if we're going to do that, we should do our own game.
Yeah.
And then we got contacted by Andrew Golding, who did a couple of great games. He did MacGuffin's Curse, very fun puzzle game, highly recommended, and Jolly Rover, which is an adventure game in the
Pirates.
Doggies.
What better combination could you have?
Doggy Pirates in the vein of Secret of Monkey Island, but with all dogs in the cast. So I'm not sure he might have a cat or two, but mostly dogs.
Dogs.
And so he said, "Hey, if you guys want to do a new game on Kickstarter, I'll program it for you."
So
I said, "Well, okay."
Yeah, that was it. We tried many different approaches to this. We were going to do a roguelike adventure with, storytelling elements over a roguelike game.
So I thought we'd do, grid-based game, and but instead of just being all random stuff that when you got to a particular point in the grid, would pop up of, you're at the Hero's Tail Inn or whatever.
And then you'd have your story. And you'd have the roguelike in that it had generated walls and things like that, generated backgrounds, which were very simple and 2D.
And people weren't thrilled with that. And then our artist got involved and said, we can do this. Or Andrew had actually used a tiled approach to MacGuffin's Curse. So we were actually looking at the grid layout of MacGuffin's Curse and saying, okay, let's just use that engine and do it.
Yep.
And that works until you get people involved.
Yes, because games are really a
team
the sum
effort.
of the team. Yes, and so we had disagreements on how good MacGuffin's Curse looked and worked.
Or of course OSU finally got in. Hi, OSU.
Welcome.
Sorry that took you a while.
Yes.
obviously it's because we're competing against the World Cup final.
Yes, everybody's watching the World Cup, obviously.
That's using up all of your bandwidth.
Right. Those and the people that are trying to generate bitcoins on your video games. Yes. So that's what's eating up the bandwidth.
We are at the 88-minute mark in that game, but not that anyone's paying attention.
Right. So, any rate, we were talking about how Rogue to
yes. So
Redemption
Andrew, we said, okay, great, Andrew. Let's
do a nice simple game.
Do a nice simple game, and he showed us the way that he had done dialogue in MacGuffin's Curse, which was Excel spreadsheets, and the game extracted from it. And Lori kind of balked at that and said, I don't want to write. What did you say?
I just said, I think there's got to be a better way.
It interferes with the creative process.
Right. And the fact is that, I know that the people that did the message editors we've had in both iterations of message editor we had in the games did not take that long to create.
Yeah. So Mark Wilden did a message editor for Quest for Glory 2 and 3. And 4, and
well, we basically
Frank King came in 4 or 5.
5. He was 5.
Oh, okay. He came in 5
and recreated and made it much more robust and much more useful.
Yeah. So it basically is a spreadsheet, but it it's formatted so it doesn't look like a spreadsheet.
But more important, you can create connections so that you can make trees out of it, and so therefore,
what you can do in the spreadsheet is just you got to type into a whole bunch of cells what the connections are.
Well, yeah.
Having a editor that's a user friendly editor.
Well, also we wanted something that would automatically generate the trees of dialogue in that.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I got a very sophisticated programmer named, what's our programmer for the message editor?
Robert, no, something. From Florida.
Was he in Florida?
Yeah.
So at any rate, he said he could.
Blend going empty. Anyway.
He could whip that out.
Yeah, and we had also worked, when we were doing the work with Oded on Bolt Riley, we used a structured design editor that did things that looked like a flow chart that went from cell to cell, and you showed, if you were branching,
where your
branches down.
Are, yeah.
And that looked really good on a screen or on paper until you tried making a game the size of Hero Your Request for Glory. He's so amazing as beyond names.
Yes, indeed.
Quick, grab me. I'll go to Moby Games.
Yeah, you have Moby Games.
I've got a Moby. Well, I was going to pull out a game box, but I'll pull out Moby Games instead.
This is probably easier to find. I mean, we'd have to hunt for it in there.
I was coming with Rob Alexander, but that was not the right
Rob, yeah.
Oh, colon.
So, any rate,
oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay, credits.
Yes. See
I credit everybody.
Yes. Programmers.
Lonsa did some programmers. It was
Rob Eisenberg.
Rob Eisenberg. I was right. It was Rob.
Yeah.
I had the Rob part right. Rob Eisenberg had seen a design editor that was made spaghetti trees that basically look like strands of spaghetti going in and connecting all the nodes together. And he did us a visual editor along those lines. And once again, we got to the problem that if you are just doing, a scene, no problem. You can do that with spaghetti. But if you're doing an entire game with 50 or 100 scenes, it is just way beyond the scope of any of those editors. Visual becomes, less than useless, gets in the way. So we ended up going back to something more text-like. You're going to bring up Composer?
Yes, so we should bring up Composer, again, to show off what we got more than we asked for. What he gave us was almost a complete game engine for generating things.
Yeah, here's what we ended up with, is this thing called Hero U Composer. So if we select Road to Redemption, say load,
we get this original artwork that we had.
Now you'll note that took a few seconds on an SSD. I was having a problem using hard drive originally that it was actually timing out after about a minute because it took that long to load all the stuff we had in the game. So we have 93 scenes, 90 actors, 2,783 scripts, 2,431 props, and 68 events. Seems like there's more events than that, but I guess events aren't designed the way I would. But you can go to select a scene and find, like Gerhard's office. And you can say, show me the scripts in Gerhard's office. And interact with sconce. There's a major one. Look at the sconce. And then Lori was able to put in all the dialogue, say who's talking, who they're talking to, and so on. This is the summary version. If you click anywhere on the edit button, you get a fill in the form things. You can say who's talking. It's a drop-down list to choose it. I could have Moira say that instead of Sean. But let's not. So Sean in a happy mood.
And I didn't write this one. This was Josh. This was just look at the sconce. He did the discussions of
Josh Mandel.
Objects in the room. So yes, and then you can add statements over to the right. You can, if you go up to the top and go to the add statement.
Add statement.
This is the kind of thing you could do. You could have speak. You could have things go in a cycle.
Change scene.
You could
invoke command. Very important for the stuff that we couldn't do in Composer.
You could play the music. You could choose what music you were playing at the time for the room. You could put in what sound effect you wanted, where you wanted it in the script.
Select music track.
Used to be
main or ambient.
They've all been killed, but
there they go. Darla's harp.ogg. But there is no way to preview it.
There was. When this was active for Rogue to Redemption, you could
actually play that
music file or play the sound effect in here in Composer, so you could test out your scene. So as I said, it was a perfect game engine. It was great for doing like a text adventure.
So then when you were done with all that, you would click on build.
Don't build it though.
Oh. Won't cause any harm, actually. Wow. And that will build a bunch of files that are an image of the scripts, and that could then be imported originally directly into Unity. And then for Summer Days, we went another level. Our programmer, Sydney Hamilton, decided that we should use Ink. And that way other programmers that were familiar with Ink could come work for us. Well, the problem is we didn't want anything written directly in Ink. We wanted it all through Composer.
So we have
it's an extra stage that doesn't do much for us.
But you can do things like actors. No, I'm not saving Gerhard's office. We could come here and have all our dialogues off the actors.
And Dr. Von Braun.
Other thing you could do from this is generate the scripts. You could generate the scripts for the actors by actor.
Oh, no related to. Okay. Did we have any?
Well, he probably didn't get out. Let's see what Aeolus says. If you go to scripts on Aeolus, he's probably got some.
Oh, yeah, he's got some scripts.
Yes.
Okay, so this is because an object-oriented system, if it is tied to the room, tied to the scene, then you look it up in the scene. If it's tied to the actor, then you could it would show up under the actor. So Aeolus gifts. Again, offer an apple tart, offer the lockpick book, offer the brown book. And these are all conditional. So I don't know if you can see this, but maybe if I make it bigger. It says offer the brown book. Condition, brown book is in inventory, and Aeolus actor is not tagged with offered brown book. Then you change tags for Aeolus, add offered brown book, and then have some dialogue. And Aeolus says, I don't know what it says. I can't read the writing, but it's bad, really bad. I don't want anything to do with it. Maybe we should drop it into a volcano. So that apparently is a cursed book you pick up or something.
Yep. But the trick with this script is this script could be called from any scene that Aeolus is in, because it's not tied to a specific scene. So therefore, if you are in the rec room and Aeolus is there and you decide, oh, I'm going to try and offer him the golden wine,
Mhm.
You can do it in the bedroom where you share the bedroom, or you can do it here in the rec room.
So my original thought on how we would make this game is that we would have menus for various actions, and then we would, under program control, be able to say add menu item to put something in the menu temporarily, or hide menu item. And instead, we ended up with all the menu items in there all the time, but each one has a condition that says only show this in the menu if golden wine is inventory. So offer the golden wine simply will not be in the menu if you don't have it. So this goes on to one of the things that Lori had to learn when designing Quest for Glory and going on to the VGA versions and the point and click versions, is that you would learn a secret password from someone in the game, and then you had to speak that password. But if it was just a menu that says which password are you going to, what are you going to say, and it has the password there from the beginning of the game, then
There's
no game. So we could do conditionally here, if learned password, put it in the menu.
So this was a major production to create this message editor. It did go far beyond anything we were expecting or wanted, but it was certainly what we could use.
Yeah, went through many revisions over the course of months, and the first version was the spaghetti and the node version, because that was the way I described it to Rob originally.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, I want to tie together all these nodes for things we can do. And when he did that visually, we said, this is, we can't work here. We've got to write too much. Lori has to write too much.
Aeolus's slovenly.
Owls slovenly have it. Maybe I twitch. I've had rules.
So have we all. Yes, some of us are, sometimes kind of responsible for that situation.
When I was doing a project assigned to a bank in Chicago, and temporarily living in Chicago, I played some Dungeons and Dragons with various groups, and one of them was a older, middle-aged couple older than me. I was 20s. That just at one point they had a pile 3 foot high of their laundry in the living room, and it was like, okay, well, at least it was clean laundry. That was after they'd gone to the laundromat or whatever. They effectively dumped all their clean clothes in a pile on the floor.
Okay.
And,
so, yes.
And we've had worse. One of our friends had a mobile home that was, should have been condemned by the health department.
So, yes, all extremes.
Yes. Let's see. Another program we knew had ants crawling over the fast food that he'd left around in the bathroom. You have different levels of. We've never been neat. I've always liked to say I'm not neat, but I am clean.
So, at any rate, we had Rob working on the message editor. We had the Kickstarter going on, and we basically
not at the same time. Kickstarter came first.
Well, the Kickstarter did, because we had to have money to pay.
Oh, the second Kickstarter.
But the first Kickstarter, we were going to make that roguelike game, but as we actually sent out huge mailing lists of people that had been part of the School for Heroes website that we had, and we even got one from Ken Williams from his fan collection of fandom.
Yeah, Ken generously volunteered to let us do a broadcast to his Sierra mailing list.
So, yes. So we basically blanketed everybody we could find with the information about the Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter began. And we realized what we were doing, what the people that were going to support us wanted was
another Quest for Glory.
Another Quest for Glory.
and preferably something like Quest for Glory 4 that, was still the pseudo 2D, 2.5D, and, beautiful paintings and so on.
At that point, we're going to do a 2D game on,
well, we were still on the tiles, yes.
Tile-based 2D game.
And so one of our artists said, "Oh, I can do that," and he proceeded to paint a background and cut the background up into tiles, but none of them were general purpose. They were all
Yeah.
for that painting.
They didn't quite
So we
get the idea.
We
of
could
what-
reconstruct that painting, but you could not construct a wide variety of rooms, which is what tiles are for.
Yes, we did several iterations on that possibility. And then we realized we had to use Unity because we were using Unity, and Unity did not do 2D at that time very well.
Now, MacGuffin's Curse is a top-down game with exploded walls and so on. The walls tilt out from the center to look pseudo 3D. I could probably bring that up. But we managed to score Terry Robinson as our art director. And Terry looked at it and said, I hate it.
Yeah.
And he said, why don't we tilt this up and do a isometric view into that? And we talked to Andrew, and he said he could do that. And he gave us a prototype of that. Then we brought in a couple of experienced Unity programmers who looked at it and said, well, the problem is that when you are in isometric view, and we had as our example room the library that had multiple 2 floors and multiple layers and go up the stairs and such, he says you can't actually tell whether you're clicking on a bookshelf or something that is upstairs. And when things are in front of other things, you can't click on them. And we went through another 2 months of iterations on that.
Yes.
And
Going more and more 3D as we went along, and we lost Andrew, who didn't have the...
Well, we lost Andrew partly because I had another programmer I'd worked with and said he'll work cheaply for us and we can bring him in to
Yes.
supplement Andrew. And Andrew suddenly realized he wasn't in charge of everything. Said,
He had better things to do.
yeah,
and that was fine.
that I've got a
Yes.
family.
Yes, we had this program. Yeah.
Well, he remembered how hard he had worked on
Yes.
MacGuffin's Curse and how he never saw his family, and said, well, I could do that for my own projects, but for someone else,
Right.
so he dropped off.
So yes, we had brought on this other programmer to do the combat because we wanted to have combat right from the beginning, and we wanted to have it well integrated into the game from the beginning. Unfortunately, the programmer we hired flaked out on us, and we didn't get the combat then. And
Well, there was actually 2 different programmers on
I
that.
know
yeah.
it. I know.
And eventually, our stalwarts were Joshua Smith from New Zealand and Sydney Hamilton, and those are the 2 main ones that stayed
Those
with
were
us.
the 2 main ones. But we also had what's her face that did our system programming. Rob had gone on at that point, but
What's her face? That's
yes, that's what it's complicated.
system programming.
Yes,
Carol Van Azeltine gave us
yes. She
scripting.
altered
She did
our
scripting.
things, but let's see.
Carolyn came on. I was a friend of, acquaintance of Sydney's. Came on and did a bunch of scripting for us and made the game much richer. Basically said that let's not keep this simple. Let's do animation when you do something. If you interact with the target dummy instead telling you what happens, showed the target dummy animating, that sort of thing.
I do not see her name there. I am not happy.
I don't know what. Judy.
Judy, yeah.
Oh, Judy, yeah, she's here.
But I don't see her.
There she is, Judy Fang.
Oh, good, Judy Fang.
Yeah, Judy Fang came on halfway through the project,
Yes.
something like that. And
Greetings from icy April dawn. I hope it's icy there. It's here. It's so
I see April dawn. It would be
Hot.
nice to be icy here. It's
Yes.
hot here.
Yeah.
Judy worked for a major company probably shouldn't
Bay
say which
Area.
one, in the Bay Area, but worked for a major company in San Francisco. Very talented systems programmer, and she did a lot of stuff for us, including the Poobah.
Yes.
And put in the AI in Poobah for the different characters, gave them all different personalities per Laurie's request, and made it so the game really feels much
As you
richer.
could see, the game keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we accrete more people and thing. So yes, we have quite a few things to
Oh, hi,
speak
Jelly
about.
Stein and Party of Two.
Oh, thank you very much for joining.
And,
first, I'm
oh,
going
and
to-
Party of Nine. So Jelly
Oh my
Stein rated
gosh!
twice.
Thank you, Jelly.
Oh, okay. So Jelly is Icy April Dawn.
Okay, yes.
Got it.
And Dogmeat says part of my contract, for lack of a better word, I wrote for DM in-person games. That's
Direct message, I think.
Yeah. No, to Dungeon Master in-person games, not direct message. Dungeon Master people requires players leave their bad hygiene at home. Now that's an interesting. I can see you're a pro DM. Yeah. Yes, and Greens Eats TV remembers Quest for More Glory forums, and yes, that was a real contributor to the ideas that went into this game.
And on that total side, we played a D&D variant with a guy who had been a programmer and game designer at Atari, and he actually, for a while, was a professional dungeon master. He charged people to run games for them.
Yes.
At their house, and he brought us in as his
the pros from Dover,
the pro players to help other, be a role model for other players.
To teach them how to do real role playing, because we really do know how to role play. Yes, and
so it's kind of fun. We did not get paid, but we did. We didn't have to pay though.
Asks, what is your favorite food? And first time chat from Jelly Stein is, of course, Icy April Dawn. Eden Waith greets everybody, which is right and proper. And Dogmeat says, I'm learning Ye Old Godot. I'll be an indentured programmer for you next game. Okay.
So we have a lot of favorite foods. We like a variety of foods. Lori lately has been making a lot of Asian noodle dishes.
Yeah.
But we both like sushi, of course.
Yes, and Eden Waith says, apparently I've missed a few streams. Corey is sporting classic glorious whiskers again.
Yeah, that all started, so late June, we went on a trip with our son's family to Germany and Austria. And 3 days into the trip, my shaver gave up the ghost, and I had not bothered bringing the charging cord, because normally it goes, several weeks on a charge. And so started getting a bit of stubble. Came back, discovered that as soon as I plugged it in, it instantly jumped up to 2 out of 3 charge and worked. So I don't know what was wrong with it in Europe, but so the shaver worked fine. But I said, why don't I keep going with this a little?
So yes, we have a bearded Corey.
So and Lori initially was like, no, it's all scratchy and nasty, and after I grew it out a little bit, she said, oh, it's not so bad.
Yes.
And then making me look like an old man with my white beard.
Yeah. And I see April Dawn has a really cute emote of the egg hatching and the chick waving hello.
The other thing, of course, is we had problems over a few weeks ago with Quest for Glory 5. We were doing the playthrough on, and the QuickTime event crashed the game near the end. And I tried to fix that and instead broke the game irretrievably so that it will no longer start at all at OSU's
recommendation,
OSU Brainiac's recommendation. I installed it. I used Richard Aronson gave me a external DVD reader a couple years ago, and I hardly ever use it, but hooked that up and installed from the original CDs out of the box, and it still didn't work. So we have broken something in our settings that it will not play Quest for Glory 5 now.
Okay, so
and as a result, I tore out the last of the hair I had.
Yes. And Eden Waith asks, what do you consider a systems programmer? A game engine programmer, or someone of more of a general game programmer on the project?
Okay, well, that goes a lot back to developer titles, which have changed over the decades.
What do you consider it? So we don't need history.
So I consider a system programmer to be what elsewhere is called a software engineer, and they are someone who typically works with the internals, stuff that connects directly to the operating system, or stuff that is not seen in like implementing the details of a game, but instead makes the game work. So like my first job at Sierra was a system programmer or a software engineer. And that meant going to the Atari ST and getting a pixel to move across the screen.
Right.
And then, building that up to the point where somebody else could write a game and my system would automatically import their game and do all the animation and music and all that stuff.
So we had.
So it's behind the scenes programmer.
Again, Judy Feng was one of them. Rob Eisenberg, as he made the composer.
Mhm.
So that was systems, and then we had like Graham Laverty and Robert Ketty. They were actually more systems program. We had Jerry Shaw from the original Quest for Glory for a very short time. And then we had Mike Croswell, who was our Unity expert, who soon went his way. So we had a lot of people.
We had some conflicts between team members, so not everybody could stay. I was going to say the other way of looking at it is, in terms of writing a game for Unity, is a systems programmer in our setup would be somebody who did direct Unity programming.
Right.
And an application engineer or a scripter would be somebody who worked with the tools and wrote scripts. So like Josh Mandel was a writer.
And
but he effectively was a scripter because he used Composer to put his writing
and his writings, yes.
Directly into the game.
So Dogmeat says, I'm charging for DMing, but the proceeds all go to the game shop. Cool. My buddy owns the shop and is doing it as a solid for him. Well, very cool. And David TKI says, good luck on your education, heroes. Well, yes, well, we could have used your help to try to see if we could get Dragonfire to work.
Because I'm sure you've had it working.
Yes. Icy says, Jelly, it's not me. I only redeemed a raid, and that you're the target of his raid.
Okay, very good.
And Eden Way says, the classic Dragon QT movie crashing the crash. Yes, causing the crash. At least I recall from the Windows version.
And that's very late in the game, so it's very frustrating when you've almost won the game. You've almost completed it. I looked good with that Pompadour. Oh, okay.
You just stop pulling so hard on
it. What I actually had was long stringy hair flying every which way in the wind because I had not cut it in about 6 months. But
Brainiac says his offer still stands. If you want, I'm happy to take a copy of your last save, put it into one of my installs, and run it over Discord. I confirmed that the endgame videos don't crash, at least one of my instances. I have a few, since one of the oldest overlays I have is from an earlier computer before I had multiple hard drives.
Okay, yeah, I believe we can go to our live chat channel in Discord and actually run that through Streamlabs so that when he's playing it and sharing that it will actually come on the stream.
Well, we could do that.
So maybe we can try doing that next week, rather. Okay.
All right. Yes, we could plan on doing that because we can't figure it out otherwise.
No.
So if you're going to be here next week, we could run the finale of Dragonfire, which would be good because, I haven't seen it since it was, the year it came out.
Now, the issue with, highly experienced software engineers with 10 or 20 years or more of software engineering experience and Microsoft is I've long said that Microsoft's major job is to make smart people feel stupid. So Windows, you are so distant from the actual computer that it's really hard to figure out why things don't work. And there are Windows specialists who know how to do that, but I am not a Windows specialist.
So Eden Waits, thanks for explaining that. I was thinking how there were some Sierra programmers who worked on AGI or SCI, but other programmers programmed the actual game, and that's the way it was for Sierra.
Yeah, so if I were to come back up here to Moby Games and look up myself, I can just click on myself. Got a
that grim photo.
Scary photo, cell phone photo that somebody took of me at a conference. Could probably replace that, but it's kind of amusing. Not too inaccurate.
Okay.
Okay, credited on 37 games. Now, Lori and I did about a dozen games, so that's part of them. But if we go through here, we'll see Space Quest 4, Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers, development team. Well, I don't think I did anything. I'd never worked with Mark and Scott. Or, let's see, genre to game.
Systems.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Police Quest, SWAT 2, Terrorist, Hostage, Innocent, Bystander Photos, Modeled by. So basically, they had me go on a treadmill, and then they took some pictures of me and put me into the game as a few characters. Full credits.
You didn't. You
Okay,
could have.
I wanted full credits. So here we go. Here's Mixed Up Mother Goose for the Amiga. I am credited for SCI Development System.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are a system programs.
So those are ones where I had nothing to do with the game, but I worked with Bob Heitman and company on the engine, on the SCI engine, and that engine was used for the game. So because I'm credited for having worked on the engine, I show up.
And David has been out a couple of weekends, and we're sorry we missed you, obviously. And Brainiac's asking, next week, are you not going to San Diego Comic-Con?
We are. So it starts, preview night is Wednesday night, which we don't usually do. So we're about an hour from downtown San Diego. And we could drive down there. The problem is during Comic-Con, there's no place to park, or it's like $50 a day to park. So what we do instead is we take the coaster train down there, and very convenient. But, you know, I don't really want to do that for 4 or 5 days in a row. So we are planning currently on going down Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and being back home to run the stream on Sunday.
Yes.
Even though the convention will still be going.
Let's see. He's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, then, yes. Are you going to be there all the time? That's great. So we won't plan on watching that video unless you can amazingly set it up today, and we could run it today, Brainiac.
Okay. So he will not be home.
He will not be home, yes. And David TKI says, I certainly feel stupid when I work with Windows, as does everybody. Kubrick-esque.
Yeah, when it works, it's great. When it doesn't work, it's a problem.
You were the visual inspiration for the dude in the opening scene with his eyelids held open.
Space Quest 5.
No, that picture there. That awful picture there. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was this Space Quest. I think it was 5.
Huh? Oh God, was
Space
that
Quest,
it? I'll be there on Sunday. I got passes for that on Thursday. Okay. Are you going to be there Thursday? Because we will definitely be there Thursday.
I don't see a Space Quest 5 on here, so maybe it was 4.
It must have been 4. Whichever. What was the awful one? The one that they had that awful.
I couldn't.
Image.
The one that he's talking about. Yeah.
4. Okay.
Was that 4? Yeah. I couldn't get through that. Past that.
No, that was enough to turn me off.
I mean, I did play a little of the game past there, but it was just so grossed out by that. Just I was like, ew. This game gives me a creepy feeling.
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I was not crazy about the Clockwork Orange movie either. Yes.
I went to see a Clockwork Orange with a date in Santa Barbara when I was in college, and she immediately started putting my arm over her eyes so she didn't have to look at the screen. She could not stand to watch it.
All right, Brainiac says, if I get your save now, I can probably get it running ASAP. Just not sure how much it'll slow my system at the moment to screen share. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be a distraction. I'd have to get Lori to talk while I do that or something.
Yeah. How do you get it to him?
Oh, I don't know.
Well.
How do I get it to you? I'll need a Dropbox or something.
Well, all right. Well, we'll do it in 2 weeks then.
Yeah, we'll do it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Let's see. Dogmeat says, I wasn't either. I had so many folks tell me what a masterpiece of a film it was, but it didn't jive with me. Yeah, well, it's...
I thought it was really good.
Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
It's worth watching once. It's not necessarily anything you want to stomach again and again. Actually, I have not watched Alien but once because, I mean, that's all it took. It was awesome. It is the best horror movie I've ever seen. But boy, I don't want to sit through that again.
Juvenile delinquents going to milk bars. That was
yeah.
And rocking out to the sounds of Ludwig van.
Yep. I remember.
I
remember a lot of that is ingrained into my brain cells. It was iconic, but disgusting. Yeah.
Which actually, foreshadowed the internet in the way that, like, our son, who obviously grew up later than we did, was nevertheless a Led Zeppelin fan, and he liked classical music because everything old is current now.
Yes, but these people are those people. They know that there is no age to music. Yes.
Yes.
And Brainiac says, "Is the save small enough to send over Discord? If not, 2 weeks is fine."
It is.
Go check
I don't know what the rules are.
What a saved game is.
Yeah, what's a save game?
You'll have to actually find.
I'll have to hunt it down and kill it.
Yeah.
Take me a
so
second.
Therefore, maybe we'll wait till 2 weeks, as we said.
Lori will talk while I look for it.
Yes, the other thing we were back to sort of again what we went through to get Road to Redemption out. It costs. It took longer. It cost more than we expected. It took. We barely made the first Kickstarter. We only made it because we had patrons and friends that.
Yeah, we had friends that kicked in. I had a friend that kicked in $10,000. Actually, I think Lori kicked in $5,000 or $10,000.
Yes. So
and I decided that wasn't breaking the rules because it was under my name.
It was. So yes, we had to put more money into it to try to get it done, and that was only the start. Of course, we ran out of money, and we went through a lot of different people working for it, but they all had their effect. Caroline didn't work that long with us, but what she did was, I was having these scenes between characters. They're just going to be standing there talking, but she wanted to have staging so that the characters would actually walk across the scene to certain points and then say their word and then and do it that way, which made it much more cinematic. It also made that rooms always took longer to do if you're going to actually have to choreograph every scene. But it just made it better. And for exercise, they were going to start their exercise blackout and you'll come to the end of the exercise. But that brought in the idea of, why don't we put in a vignette? Well, first we wanted to do with the tightrope walking, we wanted to actually just, go start it and then they had the actual, when we went to 3D, we had an actual tightrope walk. So we started the tightrope walking, but there were technical difficulties. And so we came up with the idea of vignettes. So there was a lot of creativity and working around a lot of different things as the problems all come up in the thing. Nothing was solved, of course. Everything had to be invented from scratch and, worked around. And then again, you're also dealing with a team of people, and all of those people are contributing. So, yeah.
So anyway, we went through experiments for a year, probably, playing with the various graphics things, and finally decided, we're going to have to go to 3D, which we hadn't planned on. Did you talk about? Yeah, we had the some of the things in the game are still like cardboard cutouts that are. We have like a DM screen, a piece of cardboard.
Just a box. Just use a box or.
Oh no! So if you got something like, here's some lyrics to Lori's song, but so we put it in like a W shape, and then painted the using Unity. We put as a texture the background image on this, and that actually made it look like if you walked around a desk to a certain degree.
It worked.
It worked. If you actually went all the way to the side of it, you discovered it was instead of a piece of paper.
Yes. So yeah, and then we had 3D backgrounds. Then we had 3D characters.
Yeah. Then we hired a company to do 3D character models for us, and that was probably very reasonable, but compared to our $275,000 budget, that was what was left after raising $400,000 on Kickstarter. And having allocation for all the physical good boxes we had to send people and stuff. 100,000 of it went to the character models and rigging. So that was a huge portion of our budget.
And then we had to have the artists that could actually work with 3D. And
so we hired some 3D artists, a couple of them from Australia.
Yes.
Back to Road Redemption,
Road
2018 Windows.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Okay.
things like Alia Frazio, who used to work for Sierra, so we got him to help us.
Yeah, Paul Bowers, I believe, was an Australian artist, and
Yeah, we got Paul Bowers through Andrew.
And we also got our composer Ryan Grogan, who's just brilliant. Ryan Grogan did the stuff for the music for Hero U Road Redemption. And late in the project, he came in and said, I'm going out to Budapest, Hungary, because he's a composer for children's TV shows in Australia. And he said, I'm doing a show, and we're getting the Budapest Scoring Orchestra to do it, and we'll get a live video of that and such. And would you like me to tack on to that the main theme for Hero U Road Redemption? He said, it was relatively expensive. I think it was like $5,000 or something. I said, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
And ended up with just a brilliant live performance that I think we got in like the end credits or something of the game. And otherwise, I just used it for promotion. So I could bring that up. YouTube. We'll look for, I don't want my channel.
Just look it up.
All right.
Road to Redemption.
Road to Redemption, Budapest. Yep. Would be nice if I spelled Budapest correctly.
Well, there's a review.
Yeah.
There
Here we
it
go.
is.
All righty.
We have the right to show this, so yeah, it's ours.
Yeah. So we got our money's worth out of this one, I think.
Except we have a commercial.
We have a commercial.
'cause he
Sorry about
has
the
a-
commercial.
Yes. Welcome, Bears Who Care.
No thanks.
Bring up your
Full screen.
your volume.
It's next.
I'm not hearing it. There it goes.
Now, of course, this process was very easy. We just said, okay, Ryan, why don't you play them the thing, and then they'll do it. But of course not. Ryan actually had to, take the sheet music forward and orchestrate it, break it down into parts, and then present it to them. And of course, there's a brilliant professional orchestra that probably only had.
Yeah, we'll give you give you the link so you can appreciate this better.
Rather than me talking over it.
Well, also you can hardly hear it for us. I mean, we wanted with the earphones on and get the full 3D effect of this because it's very awesome.
So very professional orchestra that probably only had to do a few rehearsals of this and then said, okay, now we'll record it. And videotaped the whole thing for us and recorded it so we could put it in the game. Hello, Bears Who Care! And those must be the beautiful people he's referring to. Lori and I are too old to be beautiful. Only beautiful. Only Lori was beautiful when she was young.
Yep.
So the link to that is.
So you can
I
appreciate
know what
that.
start redo equals 1 means. Maybe I should.
There it is. In theory.
Okay. There's your link. I don't know what
Right.
the.
Yes. So you could listen to that.
I don't know what the
anytime.
and start radio
And
equals
we don't
1
need
means,
to go,
but you
keep
could
going. Of course, it
move
keeps
that.
going. So yeah.
Film Symphony Orchestra. So yeah, that was a cool thing that came in
Pick up
mid
to the
project. And so,
webcam.
you get all this stuff that you just never know what's going to happen.
Right. And we said game development is a roller coaster, and especially when you're doing your own games, it's a roller coaster. You have all kinds of highs with like this amazing, opportunity, and you have meeting and working with some really great people. And then you have, oh my God, how are we going to pay for this and things like that. So, yeah.
So after the first time that I got laid off from Sierra and Lori got her contract canceled, we ran into Bob Bates at the Game Developers Conference, and he said, "Oh, you guys are available? Yay! Like, love you to do a project for me."
Mhm.
And we ended up working for a year and a half on Shannara for him, which of course was supposed to have taken a year. But for that, we rented a space that Bob Heitman had previously had for his company that he was no longer using. And then we brought in like 10 or 20 artists and programmers. Some of the
there
next
were only 4 artists and 3 programmers.
Well, all right. In-house, we had about 8 or 10 people.
Yes. And
Several programmers, several artists.
most of them from Sierra.
Yeah, Doug Herring was our art director, and he had worked at Sierra, and he had a literal physical Rolodex
Yes.
with contacts for artists they'd met through science fiction, fantasy conventions all around the world, and especially U.S., but all around the world. And so he called up a number of them and got them to work on the project.
Ooh, thank you very much.
Oh, God of Biscuits
God of
23 has
Biscuits.
subscribed.
Yes,
Yay!
thank you.
And as partway through Ken's book, Not All Fairy Tales Have Happy Endings, and it's great. If he's too modest to mention it, let me mention it here. Ken mentioned me a couple places in the book, but not too much. He did mention the thing that amuses me is he said, well, Corey didn't socialize with me much. And I'm like, well, no, I came from a different environment than Ken. Ken was kind of a hippie, and went and started up this, indie game company up in the Sierra foothills, and there was all sorts of goings on there. And then I came in for more of a button down.
All right. I could think of it. The other thing is there's personality types, and Ken was a very social, a very S personality, that he was very much into sports and
people
and boats and things like that. And then there was us with the N personalities who were into
reading
and fantasy things and that
playing D&D.
So we're kind of not the same personality.
But anyway, it just never occurred to me to go out for a beer with my boss.
Yeah.
In fact, I mostly don't drink beer and, never really.
Right. So therefore, we just don't fit in very well.
We didn't fit in well with his environment. And, he says he was already this rich guy with, his own boat on the lake and stuff, fancy stuff. And,
okay.
We're sort of middle class. Anyway, so that's the mention of us. But he also mentions that when he first met with Lori in particular, but both of us, that he recognized the passion that we had for role-playing games and that we, really cared about that category of games. So when he was looking for someone to make a role-playing game for Sierra, he didn't care that we had not actually made a computer game before. He cared that we were passionate about what we did.
And we do that well,
And he was very pleased with the work we did for him, which we didn't know at the time, but
Yeah, well,
found out from his book.
yes. At the time, well, we were always in, we could have been canceled at any point. So, it was like always tenterhooks whether or not we were going to survive Sierra.
Yeah.
But then we got this lovely 3-game contract, so we had some security.
Yay! And we did 2 of them.
Yeah. So
then they canceled the contract
Yes,
and laid us off.
but that's the game industry for you.
So somewhere in there in that layoff period, we talked about Bates and did
formed
Shamrock.
our own company.
Yeah, formed our own company.
So we knew how to do it coming into this.
Rented, subleased the space from Bob.
At any rate, we're not
got local
telling that
people.
story, yeah.
Got local people, worked remotely with Legend Entertainment, which is the opposite end of the country.
So yes, we were
Bought a bunch of computers, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm doing too much on this. I was, managing the company, doing the purchasing, doing the accounting, answering the phones. And I said, that's too much for one person. So when we did it again on Road to Redemption, I said, okay, this time I am just going to manage the company. I'm not going to be a programmer, and well, that part stuck, but I kind of regretted it. I would have liked to have been involved with the coding.
All right.
All right. Scott Adams described himself, code witchery, and Ken Williams, the 19-year-old programmer who's working with us all, essentially the same person. Kids who fell in love with computers and would be programming even if they didn't make any money from it. I think that describes Corey too. Absolutely, to a T.
Yes. In the book, he talks about being super extroverted was just a role he was playing and very draining. Well, we know how that is, but still, Ken was a master at being super extroverted. And that really was why there was a company at all, because if he could always push himself beyond who he was to be who he needed to be.
So it's, take the chances, take the risks, and do the work.
And do the work, yes.
And find the right people.
Yeah.
So we did not give him enough credit for the fact that he really, is running the company well. My direct boss, Bob Heitman, I probably didn't give enough credit at the time because I worked for him later and said, this guy's a tyrant. He's an absolute workaholic and he insists that everybody else be too. And well, that's kind of what you have to do to get things finished.
Yeah. David TKI says, I think I realized where some of the confusion of the term tool-assisted speed run came from. Computers are deterministic. Same starting conditions and same set of inputs at the same times, you get the same output. The result of a tool-assisted speed run is a playback file that's simply a series of exact inputs at the exact time.
Which, of course, is very relevant for our early games, Heroes Quest and Quest for Glory 2, where you had to type in the commands. So if you could use the tool to record everything you typed in, then you run the game again and play it back. That keeps you from taking the time to type.
And it also keeps you from having to rethink.
Yeah, it's like a player piano, as he says. Yeah. Okay, totally get it. No, I just didn't know what somebody else had, asked about. I didn't know what the term meant.
Okay, and God of Biscuit says, I think running any company, which is both doing creative work and marketing it, requires tremendous passion and a lot of being a workaholic. Yes.
And if you're the designer, it's an issue, or an artist. I think creative designer was his title at Sierra, starting with Quest for Glory 2, actually, that period on. So 1990 on was Bill Davis. And Bill was an animator and an animation director who came out of the advertising industry and the TV industry in Hollywood. He's actually a really good artist. But I don't think he did a single piece of artwork when he worked for Sierra. I would come in at 10 at night, I'd wander into the management area and find there was one office with the lights still on, and that was Bill's, and he was looking at a spreadsheet, trying to figure out how he was going to allocate the limited number of artist resources he had to all the projects that were going on, and keep them running, and and get the right people on the right teams and stuff like that. So no time to actually be creative.
No, and we've done it. We're working this through. Yes.
So my job on Hero U and on summer days was basically to give Lori the freedom to create.
Yeah.
So that I call on her to say, okay, give me a screen background for the live stream, and she'll do that easily in Photoshop. She's a Photoshop guru, and then we'll have that. But the rest of the time, she does the writing, and I make sure that people get paid, and that we have the resources we need to get the project done.
Dog Meat says, you want me to be a workaholic? Then give me stock options. If the company is getting rich off of my working for them over my 40, then I better be getting richer too. Well,
that's an interesting theory. But of course, most game companies, at least back when we were doing it, were small indie companies. So if you got stock in it, the stock was worth somewhat less than the paper was printed on.
No. You had stock options,
right? But the company was not public,
right? But you got stock options, and you could sell your stock options
once it went public.
No, I'm saying we sold every stock option every time it
matured.
It matured.
No, every time it matured. Okay, so when I got stock options for the first time. When originally I was a system programmer for Sierra working on SCI, and the lead programmer for Quest for Glory quit over religious and personality differences with the project. And Rick Cavan, the general manager, came to me and said that we've decided to offer you, and I was being dramatically underpaid. Said, we decided to offer you the position of lead programmer of Quest for Glory. Do you want to do that? I said, yeah. And we're also going to give you stock options. Well, stock options for a private company are not worth anything. But a few months later, Sierra went public, and my stock options vested over the course of 4 years. Only after it vested could you sell any of them. Well, the moment my first shares vested, I had to sell them because we weren't eating.
Yeah, well,
we could have a choice of paying our rent or eating. So
we weren't that poor.
It was close
but
to.
It was definitely, we were hurting the whole time. We were not making any money, and so yes, the stock options had to be sold just to be able to survive.
It supplemented my $30,000 a year salary with a little bit of extra money from these stock options.
And David TKI says. Even then, be careful because a lot of modern tech companies have stocks that vest over time, and they always scale the value.
Okay.
And being fired
loses you any unvested stock, yes.
Yeah.
So eventually, at some point, I actually quit from Sierra and became an independent contractor to them like Lori, instead of being an employee. And at that point, they immediately said, okay, no more royalties on Castle Dr. Brain, and your stock options will no longer vest. So no more. The other half of my stock options were gone.
Selling your stocks when they vest seems like the smart thing to do because you're supposed to diversify, right? Having stock in the place you work seems like the opposite of diversifying.
Well, the question is, what is the future of the company? So, if you were working for Microsoft and you got stock options early on, if you sold them as soon as they vested, you didn't make very much. If you kept them for 20 or 30 years, all of a sudden,
They may have been... Or they might not even exist. So
there were, the stock went up and down, but eventually Microsoft stock became very valuable and split.
Yes, but Sierra stock, not so much.
Okay, moderately valuable, and then it became worthless when they were acquired by CUC International and became Sended.
Right.
Uh,
So you have to
so,
know
yeah.
when to hold them and when to fold them. Got a Biscuit says, I will quiet down so I don't take too much of the chat, but how important is marketing for a game company, especially a relatively small one? Please keep eating. I'll stay subscribed.
We're doing actually really well now. We are eating. We have a Patreon, and we love it when people support the Patreon. But if nobody supported the Patreon, we would still eat.
Yes, but we are doing this is our Patreon basically plays for doing these live streams and things.
Or
like
gives
that.
it makes us feel like there's a reason to do it.
Yes. In addition to keeping up with
There's our
things.
Patreon, and that is a place where most of the things up there are public. You can see most of my old posts, and if you get either a $2 or $10 monthly patron subscription, then you get more content and sooner.
Yes. And to answer the question about marketing, we're very successfully not making any money on any of our games because we suck at marketing.
Okay, so my son is actually a marketing professional, and he gave us some help on it initially. But what we did is we got a mailing list of every, online publication that was, gaming magazines and so on, and contacted the reporters that, like Jason Schreier and so on, Jason Schreier, who had worked on similar projects, and said, hey, we're doing this Kickstarter, and, we're the people from Quest for Glory back in the 90s, and now we're coming back. And we actually got a fair number of them to cover our Kickstarter. When the game actually released, Road to Redemption, we could not get a single one of them, hardly any of them, to talk about at all about the released game. So marketing is very important. It's really hard to do, and it takes a personality type.
Like Ken Williams.
Yeah, not like ours.
Yeah.
So Sierra had a great marketing department.
And the right time and the right place.
Yeah,
right now,
not much competition.
There's very hard to market anything because, Steam's competition, there's the indie games coming up every day that's new.
Yeah, as of, say, 5 years ago, Steam was getting about 5,000 to 10,000 new games every month that we're competing against. I think it's like 30,000 to 40,000 a month now because many of them are generated by AI and they're slot. But finding an indie title is needle in a haystack.
But again, when Sierra was alive and well and the computer industry was just building up, there was one magazine that everybody read. Yeah. You read Computer Gaming World because if you liked games, that was the thing you did.
And there were maybe 50 new games released every month.
And so you knew which games you wanted to play and what was coming out. So if people paid attention to those things. And there is nothing like that now. So it's really tough.
Yeah. So we had talked quite a bit with Dave Gilbert, a really nice guy, runs Wadjet Games. And he gave us some advice on, getting into Steam and so on. He ended up directing our voice acting for Summer Days Tilly's Tale. But when I told him that basically, we weren't getting any support from Steam or, he was like, well, have you talked to your product manager? And I said, or what? And apparently Steam assigns a project manager to every product, but, unless you're in the know, you don't know how to contact your product manager or get any support from them. So Wadjet worked regularly with their project manager. Andrew Golding, I think, also, had a project manager on Steam and he worked with Humble Bundle. So he sold over 1 million copies of MacGuffin's Curse, but most of those copies were he got a $1 share of a Humble Bundle. And
still 1 million copies is
it's $1 million with maybe 10% of that is what you actually
all
get.
Right.
From.
Yeah.
So his 300,000, a couple hundred thousand from it helped pay off it, and he also living in Australia was sponsored by his province and by the National Arts Council and so on.
It does help.
It helps if you got that support. So.
Marketing is critical,
and you need somebody to help it.
and we have not solved that problem yet.
So when we did Summer Days Tilly's Tale and Dave helped us with the voice recording, he told us he was shocked about the fact that I essentially dumped it on the market. I put it out on Steam without any publicity. If you look at his game Avowed, had massive amounts of coverage before and just after it came out. So if you can get that coverage, it really helps you to get the numbers.
Yep.
And if not, we basically have not
All
made any money from Summer Days.
So yes, don't scroll.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it to the point. Yes, Dog Meat says yes. I've been that poor. I feel you. And David TKI says risk versus selling that stock and putting that money in an index fund. Well, if you have stock,
assuming you have when you sell it that you get enough out that you can do more than pay your bills.
And if you do, an index fund is the way to go. You do not want to just put it all in Sierra stock, for instance.
Right. Lori for a while, I did a lot of research and picked out a few stocks for us to invest in. And we did that. She'd put in like $100. I said, oh, that one looks good. I'd put in, $5,000 or $10,000. And it turned out that, a lot of those sort of went away. One of them was a bank that the president suddenly absconded with all the funds and disappeared.
Stick to index funds.
So index funds are a lot safer.
Yes. Dog Meat says, our fine company isn't enough reason. And honestly, and as much as I hate it, it seems that the best marketing is getting an influencer to play the game. If you can find the right influencer. So I am constantly getting email from people who claim they're influencers. And they say, send me, usually ask for 2 or 3 or more game keys so they can share with their partners or give them as giveaways to their viewers. Yes.
And they say, we'll give you a positive review and curate your game. And for a long time, everybody who asked, I gave keys to. And then I realized that a lot of them had really generic looking names. And some of them were really major YouTube and Twitch people that some of whom I knew and said, wait a sec, this is not actually that person.
Yeah, there's a lot of
fraud.
Yeah.
So I started saying, okay, fine, here's your key, or here are your keys. And as soon as you post a review, send me a link to it. And here's how many of those I got back.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I had sent out, like 100 keys. So yeah, if you can find the real influencers and get them to actually play your game, great.
Yeah.
A lot of the influencers charge money for that. They want you to pay them.
Basically, they're a company, and they're just going to say whatever they want.
They're like an advertising platform.
Yes,
so effectively, they're advertising your game as long as you pay them to advertise your game.
Yeah. And this name stinks, says, I miss when Steam was a curated Stormfront. I get that it's a lot of work, but Steam rakes in a lot of cash. Exactly. And then,
so when we started, 2013, we actually started making the game and made arrangements with Steam and GOG to publish it when it was done. And Steam, up till that point, had been totally in-house curated. They said, we're not getting enough, the right titles this way. So they started a Greenlight program where you could get a lot of Steam users to say, hey, I want this game. And they would greenlight it and put it up. So that was mid-level curation. And then after a year or two of that, they said, oh, that's not working well either. So they opened up and said, if you want to be on Steam, pay $100, we'll put you on Steam.
Yeah.
And since then, the floodgates open. There are so many products out there, some of which are great and some of which are terrible, many of which are terrible. And it's impossible to tell.
Yeah. Dog Meat said, I had a subscription. Oh, the memories. And yes, of Computer Gaming World. Yes. And Dr. Jacob says, I know 3 people working at SpaceX when they went public. They did pretty well. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
So
especially if they sold it fairly, the next couple of weeks or so into it. I mean, it might go up, but you lock in your millionaire first. Yes.
So I've been living down in LA, and Lori didn't want to come down to LA, but she had an great aunt in the Bay Area. So I said, okay, let's look around the Bay Area. And meanwhile, at my father's advice, I said, this mic's a little too hot. I'm going to turn it down.
Okay.
Okay, there's a less hot mic. Let me know if it's too quiet.
Not the way we talk.
So there was an article in, I think it was Electronic Engineering Times by this guy named Bill Gates, who was talking about the future of the computer industry. And I read that and said, it's a really good article. And my father said, oh, you should tell him so. So I sent him a letter saying, I really liked your article, thought that it was really prescient and, great, really great, and included my resume with it. And then I went up and did this trip to the Bay Area and interviewing for companies there. Got a job offer on the spot, accepted on the spot. Got back down to LA, and my father said, "Oh, you got a call while you were gone. This company called Microsoft, and the HR department there said they want you to come up and interview." And so I never did that interview because I'd already accepted a job.
No.
But have to wonder what would have been if I had been employee number 15 or so of Microsoft.
And Stieg says the index funds were safer. They bent the rules for SpaceX, and index funds have to buy it sooner after the IP than most companies. That's interesting.
Weird.
Finally able to catch a stream, says Darvix.
Dr. Jacobs? No,
Darvik.
Darksiv.
Darksiv, yes. And Brainiac says
or Dar 14.
Dar 14, yes, we'll call him Dar 14. One of the reasons I stick with GOG when I have to stay digital, yes. And although the curation can be problematic as well, I know a few great games similar to ones that were already on the storefront that were rejected for quite a while. Yeah, well, that's the problem with curation. There's always different tastes. But we finally, I think, got to the bottom of it. But anyway,
so the problem with the digital era is that it is, game sales are higher than they've ever been. But instead of splitting those sales among 100 titles, they're now split over millions of titles. Not only the monthly releases, but every title that has ever gone up on Steam is still there.
Well, and you can tell from the layoffs that are going off across the industry that it's just not easy to sell games.
Yeah, Microsoft.
Even though we're here.
Microsoft just laid off 1,600 people in the the Xbox games division, and has said there will be another 1,600 layoffs next year.
Right, and they laid off a lot of their QA department from Blizzard Entertainment. There's this is the hand that's feeding them. This is a constant, steady flow of income, and they try cutting,
the support.
The support. It's short-sighted idiocy, and that's the name of the game.
Every time they release an insufficiently tested expansion, it's disaster, and the players let them know, and a lot of them cancel their subscriptions.
So, at any rate, I think we could actually start to buy a loon slide. I think we could actually start playing the Road to Redemption while we yak. So that was the backstory, the short story, because there's a lot of
and some of it we repeat a lot. Sorry,
I know. So that was a short form to how we got this going. But mostly we want to do the play this time.
Okay. Brainiac got my saved game, and I could probably. You want to do that instead, or?
Well, it depends on whether he's actually thinks we should do it.
2 minutes ago, he was copying to a saved directory. It's probably there by now.
Maybe.
And he has tested the Dragon Rising video and the feet don't crash. So, Brainiac, why don't we get into Transolar Games and go into the...
You're not in Transolar. Yes,
there we go. Transolar Games, and get into the Speakeasy is our chat channel.
Yes, so we can do that.
And then when we're there, you can get into the channel and you can share. And I probably can't do it directly. I probably need to actually. I'm going to get out of that. I'm going
Brainiac is 1 moment, and save does indeed work. Good. And this name stinks, says I do enjoy AAA games, but most of my gaming is in indies where there are interesting stories and gameplay. Well, that's you are the type of person that indie game developers love. Thank you very much.
Discord already up here. Oh, here it is, Discord.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I might be able to run the speakeasy there. There's Brainiac. And Discord wants to use my microphone. Sure, why not? Now you'll probably hear an echo, so I probably need to mute it. Input switch.
Yes, I will.
Yep. Hi, Brainiac. We can barely hear you.
Hello.
There, that was better.
Okay.
Let me
Good. Let
turn
me.
this up real quick. One moment.
I am going to mute my microphone so that we don't have an echo.
One moment. Oh, there it goes. I can hear myself. Okay, good.
All right. See if you can share.
Okay. Now I can
share
hear
your
myself
screen
through
with
the
me.
stream. Okay.
Do.
All right. 1 second. I need to relaunch Dragonfire.
Ah, yes. So this will be interesting.
Okay, you guys can all hear Brainiac through there?
Ooh, that's loud.
I think so.
Okay.
Assuming we have monitor mode on, so we can
Okay.
speakers. They can hear you.
Sure the
Good.
game loads.
All right. Yes.
Could be very
thumbs
exciting.
up. Thumbs up.
There we
yeah.
go.
Double
Okay.
thumbs. Of course, that means you're
Let
going to
me
have to finish
open-
playing the game
There we
instead
go.
of us.
Okay.
Sounds
You're
like
probably
it's
better at it than we are.
in the Dragon's Cave. Ah.
In other words, echo or whatever, or distant. Let's bring the speakers up some.
So we will see if we can pull this off. In which case we can actually get to the end of the game, which would be nice. Even though we did the lead in, to Road to Redemption. Of course, Road to Redemption, the Kickstarter, we had to do things like make box covers and make meats and things like that. A bit of a reverb. Interesting. I don't know why, because we're not.
You're getting a bit of reverb?
They said so, yeah.
That was probably when I had the.
Could be.
mic
This
open.
could be like the DVD special features director's commentary. Yes,
I think this entire stream is like that.
that's what we are, a director's commentary. Let's see. Of course, for
There we go. Okay. Yeah, the ISP dropped for a second there. I was like,
Okay.
oh no, I was afraid this would happen.
All right, so I think you can
Oh,
say
Let me see if I
share
can
video
get
or something like
everything
that
back up
in
and
Speak
running.
Easy.
I need to reload the Twitch player.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, okay. This is going to take a minute.
okay.
I think I've
So-
got
Lori,
it.
in the meantime, we'll show
I'll
off.
the box. That was another thing we promised from
Okay.
Kickstarter. You can push it to the thing.
Let
yeah.
This is the
me
Hero
Now-
You box.
Share
and-
my
The one
screen.
artist we had from almost the beginning of when we were doing, I think he was the second artist third artist we were hiring, because we had Eric Chang, we had
Share screen's
Terry,
not
and we
working
had
right. Let me.
JP Selwood.
JP Selwood.
Yeah, it looks like
And
it's
we've
bugged.
had him ever since.
Let me move over to another instance of Discord. This will take a minute, but
Now we got Paul
this one
Bowers.
should work.
who
I didn't
was
have a problem with it
experienced
earlier in the
3D art.
day, but it looks like this
Carl
instance
Bowers
is
was
having an
the 2D
issue.
artist.
Oh, Paul was the two?
Yeah,
Who's the 3D artist we had?
Okay.
we had.
There we go.
We have to look at
Looking at my list, artists.
Come on, load up,
Chris
please.
Willis.
Aaron-
There we go. There we
Aaron
go.
Martin.
Okay. Load that.
Aaron Martin. Okay.
And
And Mark
And
Povey.
then
I
Mark
remember
Povey was one of the ones that was doing character animation.
close
Okay.
that. There we go.
So,
Okay.
and Al, of course, Al Eufrazio. But I think Aaron was most of
Oh,
our.
it was Paul
background.
Bowers was doing 3D.
No,
was Aaron?
no.
Aaron
Paul
Martin.
Bowers did our talkers and things. Like
Okay.
Okay.
And
Chris
There we go.
Willis.
All right. All right. Oh,
Okay. So you can share. Oh, he just left the channel.
that. Oh well, we lost him.
Oh no.
I wish I had been living in. Hadn't been in my poor arc when Kickstarter happened. Well,
Well, so part of the thing about marketing is how do people even find out
yeah,
that that someone whose work they liked 20 years ago is now doing a, we're at 2012, 2014 years. So yeah, 15 or 20 years ago is now doing a Kickstarter. And the best we managed to do, there's Brainiac back. Best we managed to do in that is that we had done an online thing called the School for Heroes. And I had a mailing list of everybody that was in the School for Heroes.
Come on.
So we proceeded to, do a mass mailing to everyone on that list, which with the tools I was using, we could only do 50 people at a time.
It was kind of tedious.
It was kind of tedious. I had to do a lot of it manually.
right.
And we sent out notification. Spain won. Spain has beaten
Screen
Argentina.
share.
Lionel Messi did not
There we
score
go.
a goal.
Okay.
Watch It Eyes Games has in-game
Come
director's
on.
commentary for everything with
Where
these
are
sort of
you?
deep dives with the thought process between a design decision. That's actually fun. We could certainly do
Yeah.
that for Feo's adventure
So
when
I
it
guess I
comes
needed
out. That could be a
Devices.
value added.
No. Entire screen. So I have to do entire. Okay. Okay.
So how do you share? You
Okay.
share-
I think I have it, but
Okay.
it'll have to be entire screen. It won't recognize it as an individual program.
Okay,
So
yeah.
All right,
it's going
yep,
to take
that's the way
me
we do
about
it.
10 seconds to turn it on.
Okay.
And let's go to our desktop.
So yeah, it would be fun to
10 seconds to turn it on.
All righty. Here
to
we
do an
go.
in-game directory. for
Green. It's
everything.
going to show Discord for just a
Here we
second.
have live from Brainiac. And I will say
here we go.
watch screen. Here comes Brainiac's screen.
There we go. What do you know?
Is this
All right.
That's
full screen? I got
So
it.
I'm going to do the best I can. I'm probably nowhere near as good as Corey, and I'm a bit out of practice playing this part of the game.
Corey.
But
I suck.
will see what I can do.
That is not saying much. Okay. Well, of course we want to click.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Overall equipment looks good. Staff's available. Spell list looks good. We never actually turned in the interesting toolkit,
Oh,
so we
I
don't
think-
actually
I
have
thought
to
we
pick
did.
up the one that's here to get Elsa out and have her help us. So
isn't
I'm
out
going to
yet?
turn that
No.
in. I'm going to use that to free Elsa first and let her handle the
oh,
enemies
good. I
for a
tried
bit
to do
while I'm
that
getting
and couldn't
everything
figure out an
ready.
interface for it.
Okay.
So defensive spell first and get Elsa out.
Very
Thank you. I will
clever.
disarm this trap
Or you
quickly.
could go
Do what you
invisible.
can.
Okay, and now I'm getting out of the way of everyone else.
Put up your
I'm here.
shield spell, and you can pretty much
Let
get
Elsa
it.
get her weaponry while I try and
Yeah, he's got
not
protection.
die.
Now it's my turn to get
Ah!
easier.
There we go. Okay, I think,
I'm good left.
oh, the Minotaur is the only one that mattered. Okay. There we
One's
go.
killing Elsa. Okay. Well, I hadn't figured out how to free Elsa, so good job.
You think you have won, do you?
And now
you
we listen
are
to Nikos.
mistaken. I will not be defeated. I will destroy
that's
everything,
where
and
we're
you
back
both
to
will
that.
die. I hold the prophecy stone in my hand. When it breaks, the dark dragon will rise
There
to
we
destroy
go.
all of Silmaria. If I cannot rule what is rightfully mine, then I shall destroy it. You cannot stop me.
No
one can stop me.
I am
your doom.
Doom.
Ta-da!
He falls
He
down.
gets the 10. 10 for landing.
Minos is as dead as he can be. I do not think many will mourn for him. He has done his best to destroy Silmaria.
Oh, screen shake.
No.
That was a high tech for Quest Relay 5.
Okay, and
And
the Dragon Rising.
How
Yay.
about that? Look at that 3D dragon.
That was state of the art in 1998. Great music. Chance Thomas. Uh-oh. Effects. And the screen breaks.
That brief clip is what's been holding you up.
Yes.
That was it. That
Well, that
killed
and the
game.
fact that I
fear
didn't
we
know
are
to
in
use the
very big
toolkit.
trouble now.
Yes.
That was it. That
Well,
killed
that and
the
the fact
game.
that I didn't know to use the toolkit.
Okay. Now, yeah, we're trapped. Okay.
Well, talk to Elsa, see what she has to say to us.
Guards. Minotaur axe is for Toro.
See what she has to say to us.
Okay.
Look what I found.
Search Minos' body, another poison dagger, more amulets.
Oh, very good.
And then that one I think is trapped. So I need trigger.
Brainiac, if you can hear me, try talking to Elsa.
There.
Brainiac, if you can hear me, I have to bring this.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
He
Sure.
knows what he's doing.
Although that timer's,
Time for
yeah.
talk now. We must do what must be
Yes,
done.
okay.
Okay,
so,
good,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, we're on a timer. If that beat gets too strong, there. If that beat keeps going too strong, it'll eventually, everyone blows
Hear
up.
me, heroes of Silmaria. The dark dragon has risen and will breathe the flames of destruction throughout these lands. It seems this time, I too must play the hero's role.
Yay.
By the power of magic that lies within the hero's soul, I call to thee. By the power of magic that once bound the dragon, I bind thee to me. By the power of magic that I have mastered, I summon thee to me.
Adequate voice. Could have been, Lori would have done it better.
So that is the doom of Silmaria. We shall be its doom instead.
Protection spells now active. You put under fire resistance.
Oh dear. Oh my word. Where's, oh no.
Yes. How did we get here?
Where's Gort and Toro?
Yes,
This
kill
is a
Elsa to help with
problem.
Pillar.
That's what I'm doing.
Kill Elsa to help with Pillar.
I'm doing what I can.
Yeah, where are the rest of the people here? Well, this is interesting. We're kind of in a...
Not now. Get someone else to help you. I'd rather kill this thing.
All
What's
right.
going on? Why is the dragon just standing there?
Katrina, summon reinforcements.
You are right. Without others, this thing will soon be free. Magic of this dark place, hear my command. I, Katrina, bind you to my will. I summon those souls that have the strength to fight this creature of fire and destruction. I summon those who can defeat this dragon of doom. I summon them now.
I know a really strong French.
Toro,
There, okay.
we got the fight of our lives here.
Good to fight with Elsa.
I can't damage this thing. My sword can't get
Okay.
its armor.
The Minotaur axe we got for the Minotaur is too big for the
It is
hero.
not bound
So
to
we
this
give it to Toro.
dimension. Unless it can be bound back to this plane, it cannot be defeated.
There, okay. Now, Gort, help me fix the pillar. Toro, help me fix the pillar. If we don't get this thing up, the dragon can't be damaged.
That thing will soon be free.
Need help.
But you could probably be a more exciting life than Lana. Yeah.
Okay. I've turned down my audio a little, so I should be able to hear you.
Who is the person streaming?
There are
They
two
are
options
awesome.
here. We can take the dragon out head on, or we can sacrifice someone to knock off half its health and move to the second phase immediately. You want me to sacrifice someone, or do you want me to just take it out head on?
Elsa's almost
Oh,
dead.
take it out head on. That was like, it's Elsa. What?
Right, no, I mean,
No,
it's
he
like,
says.
yeah, you don't want to. I mean, she's
Head on it is. Okay.
That's Brainiac we're listening to.
Okay.
Yeah, it was your
Where's-
Brainiac.
Oh, staff's been unsummoned. There we go. Okay.
Closer. Magical staff has limits.
Come
So
on.
maybe summon again.
Need to fall. Nope, too late. Too slow.
Oh,
I hope you saved your game several times in there.
Too slow. Time was of the essence. The dragon would arise. Nothing could stop it if it took to the skies. And nothing did stop it. You could not end its flight. And Silmaria now weeps in defeat at its plight.
oh.
We started that game that
I
you
love
did
these.
just
They're
as
so
we
good.
started the fight.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit restore and see if I can get at him a little faster.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Now
you might save again halfway through too.
So that is the doom of Silmaria. We shall be its
So yeah, now that I know this playthrough, I need to tell Katrina to summon people. I'm gonna do that faster.
Yep.
You are right.
saving your game is for amateurs, especially when the game saves it for you.
Okay. Toro, help me fix the pillar. Gordon, help me fix the pillar. Axe ready. There. Give the axe to Toro. Summon the staff. Protection. And let's start frost biting.
You might,
Oh,
might
right,
need
I'm near the lava
fire
pool.
protection.
Where is it? There it is. Fireproofing potion. Use it.
Yeah, there's also this.
There, that's halfway.
The dragon has gotten loose.
Now, it is possible if you let health go too low, it is possible for people to die.
Uh-huh.
By the love of the beast, we shall defeat this dragon forever!
Changes to a close-up screen, just as we had the combat in the previous games on their own screen.
Come on, come on.
Targeted. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Ah! I got caught. That was my fault.
Brace yourself. Winter is coming.
Okay, I got to be more careful about restoring mana and re-summoning the staff.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah,
try
we
this
have-
one more time.
We have a bunch of mana pills and potions.
Oh, good. It brought me back here.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, because it's saved there. I remember
Okay.
when I first played this game, not being able to keep
Where's- I
everyone
need
alive.
resistance.
Not the case in my
Yeah, because I
old
can't
man
reflect
playthrough.
the spell. Zap's pretty useless if I'm
Yeah.
playing
your
mage.
best thing is the
I
frostbite.
could cast thermonuclear blast,
Oh, yeah,
but
let's
you
do
know
that.
that's kind
Do
of a
that.
death sentence for everybody. Cast thermonuclear blast, but you know that's...
You could do it because we've already
Okay,
know
I'll
where
cast.
the save is.
I'll cast thermonuclear blast
Yes.
at least once. Okay, I'll cast.
That'll stop it. Arg!
You did it! By dying, destroyed the dragon, immolating the place with a nuclear blast. Unfortunately, you killed your companions. You should have warned them before that last cast.
Which I don't think you have the opportunity to do.
Ironically, there is actually a deed for actually sacrificing yourself as a paladin.
Ah,
And the thermonuclear blast, it does look like, was supposed to be an option, but it wasn't quite coded properly. You can't actually win the game after the sacrifice, so you never actually get to see that deed.
Ah, alas.
It's cool, but
By
Yeah,
the
we
love
wanted
of
to
the
make it the
beast,
spell
we
that should
shall
All right,
never
let's
be
do this
cast.
right this
forever.
time. All right, I need resistance, defense, and that.
And fire.
Well, hide's not going to help me.
Inventory
That
fire
should be
protection.
enough, though. Okay. Defense and resistance. And let's keep trying. There's that fire. Okay, keep the staff coming. That blue dragon head you just saw was Katrina's Dragon Frost. That's unique to her. That's the reason to have her here.
yeah, you missed.
Okay, my mana's too low to get a decent charge on the staff. So I need mana pills. Or a mana potion, that'll work. Come on, come on! Gotcha!
Dragons are tough, by the way. They're not supposed to be easy.
And this is the third and final animation that will most likely crash the game.
Ah, or maybe it won't. 'Cause slinks back into its accumulated in the lava.
Oh, look! We caused a volcano to erupt and take out all the island. Aren't we lucky?
Maybe just the area around the
Good
volcano.
thing we had a mage to get us the hell out of there.
It'll become big tourist things.
have
We actually had
defeated
both
the
pills
dragon,
and potions.
The evil that created such
Since the
destruction
prophecy did
has
say
been
someone
banished
has to
from
die,
this world
most people
forever,
presume if you do it
because
that
we
way,
did
the
not
dragon
sacrifice
sacrificing
of our
itself
willingly.
covers it.
Ah.
The evil will dissipate from here. Although the price seems high, the end of this destruction was worth it. Now, my beloved, we shall have time to enjoy life.
Oh, cool.
Is there a kiss?
Kind of.
And we get a hug from the Dark Master.
Wow.
Well done, OSU. Thank you.
Oh,
It
look.
would have taken me hours of playthrough to get through that battle.
Here are the heroes who have saved Silmaria. They have freed our fishing villages and driven the invaders off Marit. They have defeated the general of the mercenaries and made certain that they will never return to Silmaria's shores. They have dared the depths of Hades and proved their courage and valor. They have brought us peace with Atlantis and made the seas safe for boats and travel. They have brought the unjust to justice and made the murderers pay for their crimes. They defeated the Dragon of Doom, and the prophecy of Silmaria's destruction will not come to pass. These are the ones who averted this dire fate. These are the heroes of Silmaria.
Yay!
One person has proven himself beyond others. He has shown again and again the true meaning of heroism. He has earned the title of hero in 4 lands and again in ours.
Well, at least they're crediting
Silmaria
Spielberg.
has never had someone more fitting to sit upon her throne.
Well, at least they're crediting
Prince of Shapir, will you bear the burden of our crown? Will you become the next king of Silmaria?
Which would you like?
I don't know. What do you want, Lori?
Oh, you should become king.
All right,
because
agree to
it's-
become king.
Yeah, and it's not in your nature. Yeah,
This is, after all, quest for glory, not quest for self
deprecation.
effacement. No. You should agree.
Yeah, I've always said a fighter and a thief would probably say yes. A paladin would say no. A wizard I could see going either way, but
Yeah,
we'll
I
go
know.
with refuse. A paladin would say no. A
He's
wizard
not
I
doing
could
this.
see
Okay.
going either way, but we'll go with refuse.
Why?
I turned off my
Why
voice
have
on
you
the channel,
gone
so we
through
wouldn't
so
echo.
much for us? Risked your life for Silmaria? Why do you not want the reward of the rulership of this kingdom?
Because Elsa. Say Elsa.
I'd say because Elsa is more
Yeah,
worthy.
yeah.
I'd say because
Thank you
Elsa
for
is
this
more
honor. I will be proud to rule Silmaria.
There is but one other who has proven that she deserves the throne of Silmaria.
I like that she's still
Elsa
king.
von Spielberg.
Yes.
Will you be the next king of Silmaria?
Yes, I will serve this kingdom gladly. I will be king of Marit.
I, Katrina, master of the arcane arts, wish to speak. He who could have ruled Silmaria, he who is prince of Shapir and hero of 5 lands, has asked me to wed him. I have accepted. He has given me life and taught me to love.
Okay.
Okay. It's paused.
Are we stuck?
That's
Maybe.
a funny
Oh,
place
dear.
to stick.
Thanks,
I hope
nice
we're
and
not
straight.
stuck.
That's
It'd
okay,
be
we got
hilarious
that
if it got
further
stuck
than
right
we were.
there. I hope we're not stuck.
Should have saved all along.
There we
you
go.
both all the happiness in the
I
world.
was waiting on the music, I guess. There we go.
All the happiness in the
Yay, we did it.
And here you are, your final score.
Oh, okay, that's
We got
nice.
it.
Yep.
That's a nice
The puzzle
final score
points, there's
display.
well more than 1,000, no matter which character class you play.
Yeah.
So, but 1,000
That's
is the
not true
limit that
indicative.
it will display.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Jeez, logo.
So
Alright, click on
speedrunners
deeds,
typically
yeah.
check deeds.
Let's see that. Scepter decline throne, apprehend arrestees.
We did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is basically everything you did that you could do.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. And these are basically all point-giving actions, basically. And then to do is anything you specifically missed, usually specific to your character archetype. So you can see you could have freed the other 4 fishing villages. You could have gotten married to any of the other women. We missed the whirlwind spell with
What is that?
Erasmus. We did not get magic from either Katrina or Arana. Arana teaches first aid, Katrina teaches dragon fire. We didn't heal Gort during the final battle. You can actually sacrifice yourself to save others, but that causes the game to game over, not complete. So you can't actually get that deed. Releasing Arana from Hades, solved Naxos without Nalorm, used the resistance spell in the dragon blood pool. I only used it against the dragon itself, not at the blood pool. We didn't visit Erasmus, obviously. We didn't visit Erasmus enough. We didn't warn the guards of Kokino's death, which is one thing a lot of people miss when they're speedrunning.
There you go. There's
But yeah,
another
that's
point
it.
to add to it.
Hit done. And for old time's sake, you can save your character. So I will go ahead and save Magicus and send him back to you.
Hey, thank you.
May I present the credits?
Wow. And get that music.
So I'm just going to mute my mic and let everyone enjoy the credits.
Okay. Well, we can yak. Yes. Designer. They can watch it.
Jay Usher, our producer and project manager, was like Mark Seabird. He was originally hired as a musician, but he became a producer, and he saved the project from being canceled several times. That he managed to get, convince Central Sierra Management up in Bellevue to raise the budget 3 or 4 times. I think it was originally a $1.5 million budget and ended up costing about $4 million. And it was supposed to take 2 years, and it ended up taking 3.5 years. So he kept that project going through all that. Hey, there's my name.
And there's Kumar and Tulari from
Srinu.
Yeah.
The contractors from India.
All the way from India, yes.
Came in to help in it. Tim Laux, lead illustration. Rich Powell.
Terry Robinson.
Terry Robinson.
No, Terry.
Tim was the lead.
Tim was the lead.
No, didn't know that. Who would have? Terry Robinson was originally assigned the game design role, and he said, "I can't do this alone. You get back Lori Corey," and then Lori took it over, and then he stayed with the project as an artist, but he didn't want to
For
lead
most
it.
of it, and then he had a nervous breakdown and had to leave. So.
Just as on Quest for Glory 2, I had a nervous breakdown and zoned out for about 2 months in the middle of it.
So yes, lip syncing
game design
editors.
is-
Look how many people did the lip syncing editors, and all he got was a little talkie head.
Yep.
Not worth the effort, really. There's the voices.
Okay, they were SAG actors,
Stephen Long.
the Screen Actors Guild.
So yeah, all those are very important people.
The Guards and the Guardian were Michael Sorich.
Julinar and Katrina.
Were both Joyce Kurtz. She did a good job. As Julinar, she seems very, innocent, but some confidence and a good voice. Great Tomko Pavio's narrator, and he was a employee of Sierra. Was he a programmer?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember. He was at Sierra.
Good site designers too.
I didn't remember there was a website.
I didn't know I was part of that.
You probably did.
I
Susan Fisher, who helped with a lot of stuff.
Shame about poor Coquino, and even Miss Magnum Opus. Yeah, I know. I felt like when we played this game, we didn't see enough of those people. Of course, we didn't do the combats. If we had done more of the arena combats, we would have gotten to know them a little bit better, and they would have been more important.
So therefore, you'll all have to get the game on Steam or GOG and figure out how to make it run.
Monster Draw
I can't seem to do anymore.
Winner, Chris Warren, creator of the
Weirding.
Okay.
And I think he later got into the game industry.
Thank you to all the fans who made Quest for Glory 5 possible. Yes.
Tim Williams, Joey Bowerman, and the other people up at City Entertainment. Calavera. Essentially means good day in Greek. We learned a little bit of Greek vocabulary for this.
And that was the exciting ending to Dragonfire. And so, you can always pick it up and play it yourself.
Well, thank you, Brainiac. Much appreciated.
Really
Great
is.
job
Yep,
and great
there we are.
commentary.
So glad to see it.
It's going to quit. Oh no. Okay, so let's kill
problem.
that commentary. All right. We'll kill the visible
And
visuals.
cancel.
I can never figure out how to
There,
get out
all
of this
is the
mode.
right.
Stop
What?
streaming.
You first get out of the,
Alright.
the
Well,
thing,
full
and
screen
Righty.
and then
then go over here and go to webcam and don't worry about it.
webcam. You mean?
Webcam, the screen.
Oh, do that.
That. Yes. Now
Okay,
you
we'll get
can
back to
fudge
that.
Well,
with that. Yes.
well, before I go, I just wanted to say,
Yes.
thank you for the series. Thank you for all your work, and thank you for a story and a heroic adventure that I'm sure pretty much everyone in chat has appreciated for a very long time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
You're
again.
Most welcome, and thank you for the commentary, and thank everyone who come to view the stream. Because if we only had 5 people coming to watch our stream, we probably wouldn't do it.
Yes, and let us know how to. Maybe we could have lunch with you on Thursday.
Oh yeah. Get in touch with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send me a private message on Discord, and
And we'll give you your.
I'll give you my phone number, and we
then
can get together.
Yeah, that way. Glad I got everyone to get a view.
Yes. Especially us, because we wanted to know
Yeah.
how it ended.
Right. I never figured out how to close chat either.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things in when you're making a game, especially if you're a programmer or an artist, as an artist, you're assigned to say paint the dryads in the dryad woods, or to animate the dryads. Different person doing that, and that's where you're laser focused in on. As a programmer, I am working on room 340, and for a month or more, that's all you're doing is working on room 340 and trying to tune it and get it to follow Laurie's script and to the animation to have life, because you get all this animation handed to you, but making it actually work in the game, that's up to the programmer. And meanwhile, you have no idea what's going on in the rest of the game or how what you're doing relates to it. Only Laurie has the overview in her head at all times of every single scene in the game and how it all interacts. Okay, OSU's badges Thursday and Sunday. We will see you on Thursday then.
Yes, if you can. I believe Friday, my cousin. Yes, yes, but I haven't heard anything about Saturday.
Okay, well, we can certainly see you at the convention on Thursday,
Yes,
and we could do something offline with you on Saturday if there's nothing going on.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know. We'll talk to you, and we can make arrangements, and we can see you. And
Yeah. And it'll be fun.
well, we owe you a lunch for this. Yes.
At least.
Yes.
So anyway, laser focused in a single scene, and so I actually never saw the end game. I never played it. I played through the parts I was working on over and over endlessly, and my job actually was mainly to do like the quasi system code. So we're in an object-oriented system, and that means that there are classes of objects for things like characters, backgrounds, props, things like that, and they have methods, which are the code that makes them do things. That's all down at the system level. I built on top of that some new classes for role playing. That's like, am I too loud?
A little bit.
Okay. So I built on top of that some new classes for like the role playing engine to say, okay, use a skill to give you credit for having practiced that skill, cast a spell, gain experience points, all those different things that were a level on top of the system engine. And then the actual game developers built on top of that, and they went to Lori Scripts and put, turn Lori Scripts into actual game code. There were probably, okay, let's go back to the Moby Games. That's this one, I think. Let's go to desktop.
Yep.
Desktop.
I'm trying to get it.
Okay, so here on Moby Games, we have the end-game credits for Quest for Glory 5. And
No, that's
no,
Rogue
I'm
right
sorry,
now. You're
Rogue.
on Rogue right now.
Oh, sorry. Quest for Glory V. V? Oh, come on. It says security verification is new. Okay, Quest for Glory 5 Dragonfire. Okay, credits 163 people. Now, some of these were like the executive producer, Craig Alexander, actually had a fair amount of management role
More management than
Ken Williams ever had.
did.
Jay
on
Usher
our
was our project manager. He was-
Directly on our project, yes.
Yeah, Jay was our direct project manager and producer, and he was critical to keeping it alive. And he also worked with Chance Thomas to get the music in, being a musician himself. Mark Zekiel was our technical producer and essentially the programming manager. Shannon Haynes was project coordinator. I have no idea what she did.
No.
Lori is designer. Terry Robinson is art designer. So you get all those single names for those things. Then you get into system software engineers. They're the ones who did SCI and the things. Frank Kane did the message editor. Mike Haynes, Larry Scott, Corey Cole, Bob Heitman, John Harris all worked on the system. Eric Lengel did everything. He did the 3D engine, the particle and lighting effects, the scripting engine that allowed the script programmers, the application scripters to actually work in the game. And those applications programmers, Doug Oldfield, he was there at Sierra when we got there. So was Bill Shockley. Joseph Clark, I think, came in a year or two later. Jim Kadick, friend of ours, who got onto the project, the contractor. John Cunny, Chris Smith, Mike Brosius, so about a half a dozen people there. Additional applications programmers. Okay, we mentioned Selva Kumar and Srinu Taluri came in from a company in India as contractors. Technical assistants. So you can see there are dozens of people that work on a game and, over 100 altogether. And there are, so many different categories. QA analysts, we had, a dozen people, or probably a couple dozen of the QA team, and a dozen of them worked in our game, testing it. They get all the Sierra management people that really had nothing to do with it, other than supplying the money so we could do it.
Likewise, yes.
Special thanks to all the fans who flooded our executives' email accounts and made Quest for Glory 5 possible. A lot of that was physical mail before email became a thing.
Yep. And so, yes, that is why Quest for Glory 5 was made, because of people like you.
And Christina, who calls herself Elsa.
Elsavana Sailberg, yes.
From the island of, not Crete, but that one.
Yeah, that one. One of the
It's
islands
going.
that we
The one
did not have in our game.
The one that's 3/4 Greek and 1/4 Turkey.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the whole voice acting cast that come in relatively late in the game and they just read their lines, but how they read them is critical to the feel of the game. And really saw that with Tilly's Tale, having Sarah Fuzzle and all those talented actors and actresses on the game makes it so beautiful. Really makes a difference. So we had a huge team by the end. I was thinking 50 artists, but I think it was more like 20 or 30. Worked on different aspects of the art and animation. Millions of dollars spent.
And again,
years of work with massive overtime for most of it.
and people all over the country working on it. So it was not just in-house. A lot of the 3D artists, we only had two main 3D artists and Sierra. So therefore, the other 3D artists had to be brought in from other companies that worked for Sierra.
Yeah, for Shannara, we got artwork from Asia. So it was not even in America. This game, I think, was done almost entirely in the U.S., but we did have, a couple of people from Indiana, and I don't think we farmed out any work to China or.
No, not for this one. We did farm
Poland.
out to on some of the other games we did.
But yeah, just a gigantic team, and having Eric in there as the lead programmer. And that was, when I came back onto the team, they said, well, we'd love to have you on the team, but we've already promised Eric the lead programmer role. I said, fine, no problem at all. I will happily work on it and be a grunt. But Eric was just so multifaceted that, he was critical of the project. Just as, having SCI at all, Jeff Stevenson and Bob Heitman, without the two of them, you would not have had SCI. And Pablo came in just in time for Quest for Glory 2 and put in the really advanced parser. And then by the time we were on Quest for Glory 3 and all the other games, they had taken the parser out. So,
do you have Slack up here, or do you have to type it in each time?
I don't have Slack up here. It's a separate app.
Silly person.
Slack is here.
My Slack is part of my
It's on your browser?
well, maybe not, but it's certainly accessible right away. I thought we'd show off what the latest stuff we were doing here, just to show that we're doing actual work on our games.
Okay, so
we aren't just living in the past.
All right, scroll back a little ways, and then I will open up the desktop.
Yes, and
Here's some of the spoilers from FAO's adventure and working out. So each character has their own story in the game, and they all have different end games. So, if you work with this character, then your character, FAO, is using magic to fight that monster. Here's FAO's familiar, Jafafa, and there is Charlotte Roos. And then that becomes this. So
this is all JP's work.
And this is all JP Selwood. It was just, it was absolutely brilliant. He's worked with us since the beginning of Hero U Road to Redemption, and has gotten, his innate talent has always been there, but his skills at using the art tools and using all kinds of different, 3D tools and stuff like that have just, gone into the stratosphere. Here's our festival grounds. There's work on another one of the monster encounters against the Zilla. The Zilla's our big baddie here. And you can see this is a sketch stage where he's just doing rough line work and kind of laying out the scene positions and, and character positions and so on. And that then turns into this painted version.
So yes, we're using the concept vignettes again.
And here with Percy as your, Percival as your assistant, you have an entirely different approach to how you defeat the Zilla monster. Here's Calvin, the son of Calb from Quest for Glory 3.
Yeah,
click on
it. Huh? Okay. There.
I am here to ask you about the Harvest Festival of last year. And he's talking to Calvin and saying, well, what happened last year? Calvin says, I don't know. I wasn't here or whatever.
Okay, so where's your Sammy's channel? Oh, there is Sammy channel. There's a Sammy channel.
Yes.
And so we're also working on Sammy's story.
Yeah, the problem is that JP is really efficient and Lori and I aren't. It takes blood and sweat and tears to come out with every line of dialogue. And so Lori has been writing that. But in the meantime, JP had finished all the principal art for FAO's adventure and started working on...
And now he's learning how to do 3D.
Yeah, now he's learning how to do 3D models and such. And there's a monster from Sammy's story.
Yes, this is Sammy's story now.
And And so he started working that at our behest. And, well, we don't want him to actually go to work for someone else because then he won't be available for us anymore. But he certainly probably ought to because he'd probably make better money. And
Yes, love Calvin.
on
love
the other
Calvin.
hand, he's
Yes.
got freedom to do pretty much what he wants with this. So learning the 3D tools and doing the character stuff. And then somewhere along the line there, with all the artwork done for Feo's Adventure, and Lori continuing to write scripts, she says, oh, well, I got this new script here that requires this animation or this special scene. And Lori and I worked out how we were going to work all the different characters in the end game, and said that, each one has to have their own unique scene. And so we had JP come back into a Feo's Adventure and create those scenes. So that's why we had those recently, even though, we've been working the game for 4 years.
Right. It's just to augment the
6
storytelling
years.
so that you can really enjoy, the end game to be a dramatic, finale to the stories.
So anyway, so he's going back and forth between the artwork for Feo and for Sammy's story. And we haven't actually written any of Sammy's story other than Lori has the whole design, plotted
Other than
out.
that, yes.
Yeah, but you haven't
No.
written any dialogue because that's
No.
not what she's working on.
Right. I have to finish off the
So
dialogue.
JP is way ahead of us.
Yes, and he's learning to do 3D stuff, and we are going to have 3D into Sammy's story, but it'll still be very much the same kind of text adventure style. I don't have full screen on.
So here's this
You
is
have to
Calvin?
show back to it.
This
Yeah,
Calvin.
that's Calvin.
Yeah, so
There is the 3D version.
here's the 3D version of Calvin for Sammy's story.
Yes, and in my Slack, I could have shown you his articulation because he really has got him all rigged and animated, so that we'll be able to do interesting things. That's just random stuff.
Kandinsky in the
Yes,
wild.
yes.
Okay. So yeah, Feo is the main focus, but working, same way as at Sierra. Let me go back to the webcam. When we're at Sierra was always working on half a dozen projects at a time every year. A few outside ones, but in-house. So we would have King's Quest 4 going on at the same time as Heroes Quest, going on at the same time as Space Quest 2, going at the same time as Police Quest 2, and Leisure Suit Larry 3, I think. Were all going on, maybe it was 2 also. All these games were going on in parallel with a different team on each game. So Ken Williams shows up as being the executive producer on all of them, which basically means he's not involved, other than making sure that everything gets funded.
Yes.
Very
and
important
coming
job.
around and making sure that he feels like everybody's doing their fair
Cracking
job.
the whip as they did
Yes.
in Space Quest 2.
Right.
And making sure that the marketing department, is going out and doing we had the magazine, not Activision, something Vision.
Interactive.
Interaction
Sierra magazine,
Interaction
which became
magazine.
Interaction.
Interaction magazine, which promoted all the games and and getting the boxes done and getting advertisements for the magazines, and everything has to be done months in advance because the magazines have like a 3-month lead time. So if you want to get game reviews, you've got to get advanced copies of the game to reviewers months before shipping, and it's just a 7-ring circus going on around here.
And that's why we never saw the other teams. We
Yeah.
were all isolated, even though they worked at the same
I
company.
ran into them in the hallways occasionally, and
But-
sometimes had lunch, but mostly we were in with our own team.
Yep.
People often ask, did we work with Roberta Williams? Well, we saw her, 4 times a year or so.
Yeah, maybe.
She worked mostly at home, would come into the office occasionally, and Lori worked half at home and half in the office.
Yep. Those were the days.
Yep.
Now I work in my office all the time.
At home, she's right across from me on that window.
Bring X's. I remember Interaction. I think I had quite a few issues as a kid. Not sure how many survived in storage.
Well, we had some issues working in the game industry, but
Mhm.
it's a different sort of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that was the ending for Quest for Glory 5. We are not actually, now that I've labeled this video as being about Road Redemption, we didn't play it. Should we play 5 minutes of it to?
No, that's okay.
So we lied.
Again.
But next time for sure. Unless we do an indie game for it, I think we'll go right into Road Redemption. Several people here have asked us to do that.
Yes. And it takes forever to play that game too. So therefore, it'll be a long series of streams.
Now, one of the things in Road Redemption is that you have a choice every line of dialogue as to whether you're going to be charming, witty, or use moxie. Sneaky, effectively.
No.
Sarcastic.
Snarky.
Snarky, that was it, the word. Snarky. One of the favorite words of the rock, paper, shotgun writers.
Snarky?
So, snarky. He loves snark.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, who is now working with Dave Gilbert on a vampire game for that's being published by Wajidai. And that one is stretched out forever. And what it comes down to is that games do stretch out forever if you're ambitious with them and you're trying to do a lot with them.
Right.
But snarky. So anyway, Lori has decided, I think last time we kind of were a lot snarky and sometimes witty. This time we're going to focus on being charming and being nice to everyone and making as many friends as we can. And see where that puts us.
Yeah. Charm, smarts, or moxie. Thank you.
Those are your stats.
Yeah.
So those translate moxie for the rogue translates into will for the paladin. And that is kind of based on Aleister Crowley. Had the line, do what thou wilt.
Shall be the whole of the law.
Yeah. But the idea of willpower and strength of personality, that's what the paladin's all about.
Yes. You pronounced Crowley's name right.
You mean Crowley, right?
Uh-huh.
You mean Crowley? I mean Crawley? Crawley.
Yeah.
Aleister Crowley. Yeah. Anyway, so I was way back when involved with a cult that was an offshoot of the Church of Satan, which sort of came out of Crowley into the Church of Satan into a thing called the Temple of Set. So I had my dark black magic period, which was about the time I met Lori and was able to blow her away with bullshit. Oh, are you allowed to say that on screen? And so I went through in periods. I was a fundamentalist Christian for a while too. So
yes, both sides of the story.
my father declared himself to be a Buddhist at one point. He had his version of Buddhism that was mostly based on you're born, you suffer, you die.
Yeah.
And that is all of life.
Yes, there's Isaac Bonowitz who.
Oh, it's not bad. Oh, yeah. Isaac Bonowitz was sort of a acolyte of Crowley. Yeah, and he mocked LaVey and LaVey. That isn't quite Spade. It was spelled right. Women love a smooth Satanist. Yeah, we also had pagan friends who we hung out with who did Wicca.
Yeah, we had Wiccan friends.
Very Russian outlook your father had, yes. Yes, that is life in modern Russia and certainly life in post-war Russia, and pre-war.
Yes.
So unless you're one of the wealthy people.
So we
before
come
the
from
revolution.
a diverse background, which is why our games are so eclectic.
And one of the decisions that Lori made on Quest for Glory is we would not have any. We do not have a cleric or a priest class in the game, that we would avoid religion. The closest we got was in Quest for Glory 3. We've got the Liontar religion, but you're not really part of that. You're experiencing it as an outsider.
Right. So we didn't want to offend people, but we managed to offend people with every game we made. So it was a hopeless, attempt not to get people's upset and trying to boycott our games.
Yeah. And I could carry on for hours as to whether any of the acolytes, whether Crowley himself or any of his acolytes were actually brilliant, tuned into the nature of magic, or were just, con men
Con men and
or
self-delusional.
self-deluded.
Yes.
Awful lot of them are self-deluded. Isaac Bonowitz, okay, all the Wiccan and Satanist friends I knew totally mocked. Well, I don't. No, I take it back. Some of the Wiccans like Bonowitz's work. The Satanists totally mocked him, but that's okay because he mocked them too. So
It's only fair, yes.
yeah,
Code Witchery says, I think most people who play wizards in D&D end up learning how to pronounce Crawley's name at some point. It depends on where you learned it from too. I mean, Good Omens, the series on by Pratchett and Gaiman, is one of the best books. I mean, it's definitely on our list.
great book, and they did a really good miniseries adaptation of it.
Yeah.
TV series adaptation. I've got over there. I've got a
You got
book.
that book?
Yeah, it's on the second shelf near the left,
Second shelf near the left.
next to the bridge books,
Oh, there it is.
of course.
Good Omens.
and the Starcaster Chronicles.
Oh, yes.
So I supported the graphic novel version on Kickstarter, and this is just a really good graphic novel retelling of the TV, the video series.
No, not the video. It went right from the
Yeah.
book.
Oh, I
It
thought it
went
was.
from the book.
Was it from the
not
book?
from
Okay.
the TV series.
Well, the character designs are.
No,
kind of
they
out
don't
of-
look like
All
it
right.
at all.
Oh well.
But the television series was actually very entertaining. They did a good interpretation. It falls a little flat when you don't have Aziraphale and Crawley on it. I mean, they were so dynamic that all you wanted to do was watch Aziraphale and Crawley, and so they made the second series of it, which was not at all based off the book, and that was a lot of fun. And then everything went down with bad things came out about Gaiman. And
Well,
so they
I knew
kind
that.
of threw the series away, and they actually had one more video in the series that disappointed fans immensely. So
There were a lot of fan-made. What would you call them? Not machinima exactly, but they took scenes from the TV series and then set them to
yeah, you made
music.
music videos. They
Music
made music
videos.
videos. Yeah.
Using scenes from the video version of Good Omens. They're really brilliant. So that's where Lori learned a lot of Taylor Swift songs
Yes.
and.
I learned a lot of
Evanescence.
pop music, not from.
All right, Evanescence. We were already fans of.
predated that one
Okay.
by far, but and you.
There was another artist who you said you knew mostly from.
Oh well, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Lots of artists that more pop music than I had ever heard. So yes,
Yeah, the Good Omens series definitely worth watching. The book is great.
yes, the
Um,
book is a must read as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so some are must read books. Good Omens certainly up there. I mean, the whole Discworld series by
Yes,
Pratchett.
Pratchett
Other than
is-
the fact they'll take you forever to read them all.
Right, Pratchett is
Amazing. Godstalk by P.C. Hodgel, amazing. And Riddlemaster of Head is one of my favorites.
right. Patricia McKillop.
Yeah.
Gotta get the names if you're gonna do
Yeah,
it.
Patricia McKillop, the Riddlemaster series, just 3 books in that. Although she also did the Forgotten Beasts of Eld, which is a related book set in the same setting.
Yeah. So yes, our these are books that really influenced us and definitely have been incorporated into our games in some senses.
And Tim Powers, particularly the Drawing of the Dark, definitely had an influence on us.
He's a very dark writer.
Yes, if you like dark fantasy where the protagonist gets tortured and sometimes even killed, everything horrible happens to the protagonist.
All Gods is one of my favorites from Pratchett. Thou shalt not eat the meat of the turtle.
There we go. Yeah, Pratchett, the Discworld series started out with, I think, The Color of Magic was the first one. And it was just kind of a parody of fantasy fiction. So he has instead of Conan the Barbarian, he has Cohen the Barbarian, who's, Jewish, of course, and
Not particularly, but
well, not really. Just parodies all of the tropes of fantasy films, especially. And then as he got more into it, when he came out with the Men at Arms and the Night Watch books, all of a sudden he started really getting his voice. And there's a lot of silliness there and a lot of parody, but also really serious stories told with humor. And ended up being like 20 some books, I think, in the series.
Ah.
2 point-and-click adventures with Rincewind. Rincewind is his wizard who has a hat that says Wizzard on it to say he's a wizard because that's about as much magic as he has. But,
Yes, there were point-and-click adventure games. There's several adventure games that have been since then that are supposed to be pretty good.
and there have been some film versions. I
Yes.
know The Hogfather
Yeah.
had one.
And then there was a kickstarted video that was not made by Pratchett, but it was about Cohen the Barbarian, which was actually really entertaining. It was it was made by an independent artist that basically took Cohen's character and told a story with it. So there's a lot of things out there that you can look up and have fun with. Yes.
What was the one about the old barbarians that was done as Pratchett did as a graphic novel with Cohen as an old man?
Oh, that the Last Hero.
Yeah, The Last Hero, wonderful graphic novel that answers the question of what happens to. Okay, we know what happens to most barbarians is they go racing in and berserking in and die. So that's what happens to most barbarians. But what happens if you're actually the best one? You're so successful that you live to be an old man. What is there left for an old barbarian who has, sacked the sacred temple and, done everything there is to do for a barbarian adventurer? And that's the story of The Last Hero. And it's they point in really good.
It really is kind of a culmination of a lot of the other stories that were going in there, and it's got all kinds of very interesting things. I mean, we can't recommend Pratchett enough.
Yeah.
If you haven't read him, you really want to. They're funny and they're insightful.
Oh, and along with Patricia McKillop, there's of course Ursula Le Guin. And the Earthsea trilogy is another one of my favorites. I don't know if it was
I
for
haven't
Lori.
reread it, so I guess
Okay.
it wasn't.
Earthsea was very brilliant. So there's some great ones. Raymond Feist and David Eddings was a little too serious to my mind. His series, a little dry, but it was, really good. Both Feist and Eddings wrote the basic, it's called in German a Bildungsroman. Bildungsroman is a coming of age story. And a lot of the fantasy stories, and certainly Quest for Glory, Hero's Quest, and the whole Quest for Glory series are Bildungsromans because Siri heard me say series. And they're coming of age stories where you start out as nobody special and you become special through
Which
the course
is,
of it.
of course, exactly the story of Quest for Glory.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, well, all right. It's exactly the story of Rogue to Redemption and probably every character group we make.
And most fantasy fiction, certainly The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, all about, these little people, the hobbits, becoming important.
Yes, but that isn't a billing. It doesn't follow in that category because they're not young when they start out. They're 20-somethings.
That's young by Hobbit standards.
Yes, but they're still not young. Okay.
The irresponsible tweens between
Yes.
22 and 33.
Yeah. I believe a group of student animators might have ripped that story off for their short animated feature called The
Saga of Bjorn.
Bit of a twist at the end, but very funny. Well, that's great. A Viking that was just too dang good and lived to the point where he wanted to die a hero's death.
I mean, that's a really interesting story, because
Lot
you can
like
have, if you look at Conan, he gets resistance, but he is just so overwhelmingly powerful. He wins. So he's going to win. So having some doubt about it and having some stories that are not just superhero doing superhero things. So the most interesting Superman stories were always the ones where he's up against an enemy that had kryptonite. or red kryptonite that took away his powers entirely, and then he had to be a normal man, needing to do superhero things. Batman is great because Batman doesn't have any superpowers, just a lot of money.
Or be defeated by Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I don't acknowledge those films. Sorry.
Oh
I
well.
grew up with Superman, and I grew up with Spider-Man, and the comics were also things that influenced.
One of the ones in the League of Superheroes, Superhero League, whatever it's called, was of course Mon-El, who had all Superman's powers, but he could only use one at a time, and he was vulnerable to lead, and that's a problem because there's a lot of more lead around than there is kryptonite. But yeah, Mon-El could basically use his heat vision, but he couldn't fly while he was doing it, unless he had a flying belt, which the original Brainiac 5 made the flying belts for all the Super League people. Brainiac, of course, was just a super genius. I think he was like a cyborg computer person.
Yeah, well, then we have the game series, the paper game series, Champions, which allowed you to play a superhero, but to really get powerful, you had to take disadvantages.
Yeah, you only had a certain number of points to allocate for your superhero abilities, so you ran out of those points very rapidly.
And so you had to counterbalance by saying, okay, I have a,
obvious and accessible focus. Everybody can see that, my ring of power is.
Yes, and if
how
you
do
take
things.
that ring, you're powerless.
Yep.
Or the vulnerable to lead.
Yep.
That would be, and then you had to judge, okay, how common is lead? It's very, very common.
And
So
you
that
get
would
extra
get
points.
more points because of the commonality. So you played out the balancing game in the first place to try and create an interesting character. And those vulnerabilities help make a story.
Yeah, the superpowers are great, and they're exciting, but the vulnerabilities and the failures and the relationships that they're not, like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, terrible relationships, and that becomes a element of the story that makes him seem more human and more
And
likable.
that's
to
how
himself.
you make a story. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have interesting characters, but they cannot be, the Mary Sues of gaming,
What's Mary Sue?
Yes.
Who's
Right.
Mary? I'm asking you.
Okay. Mary Sue just means they're a Superman. They can do everything. And Superman, is boring. Only when they're vulnerable do the stories become interesting. Because it's sure you can pick up a train or move a plane or save the world, but that becomes very boring.
So Mary Sue stories are wish fulfillment. They typically, have the writer as the protagonist.
Yes, the writer's projection
I'm,
of themselves into the
I'm
story.
just Mary Sue, but when I'm in this story, oh, okay, now suddenly I've been bitten by a radioactive spider. I have Spider-Man powers. Oh, but that's not enough because I've also got exposed to heavy gravity as a child, so I'm super strong. Well, and I've got.
Everybody falls in love with me.
Yes, because I'm the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yes, that's the Mary Sue character, and it gets the term gets bandied about, and sometimes it gets bandied about.
There's a website about that, isn't there? Isn't there a Mary Sue website?
Well, there was. There used to be a pretty good news feed for the Mary Sue would be give media on that, but it sold itself, and so now it is only a not worth reading anymore.
Let's see what they say. They say it's a fictional character, often female, who is unrealistically perfect, exceptionally talented, and central to the story, often serving as a wish fulfillment avatar for the author.
Right, exactly.
They did that in fewer words.
Yes. Well, what do you know?
This term can also apply to male characters, sometimes called a Gary Stew or Marty Stew.
Yeah, but keep it to Mary Sue. Make it a generic, a non-specific, because it just is a character.
So we grew up without any personal computers or desktop computers for that matter, and as a result, we read a lot in books. And if we wanted to go out to a movie, you didn't watch it in a video at home. You went out to a movie theater, So we saw a few movies, but not nearly the amount of movies and TV that people see today. We did have television, although I think it was black and white initially.
It
we were
was
little
when
children.
we were little.
A little, but color TV came in
Oh,
by the time we were
television.
10 or 15.
Yeah, maybe even before that. At least for my family, my uncle gave us.
And my father was an electronics consultant, so he did consulting for Heathkit and other places, and got a huge, fancy stereo kit from Heathkit at a discount for his work, and
Cool.
we had one of the first color TVs.
Yep.
So we got to see the original Star Trek when it first came out, sitting in our